You're watching local coverage you can count on. This is WANE15 News, first at 5.
For the last few weeks, COVID-19 testing has been going on in Fort Wayne. Today marked the start of testing you can do yourself. Thanks for joining us. I'm Dirk Rowley.
And I'm Tara Brantley. Today, Kroger kicked off this type of self-testing at Bishop Dwenger High School. Health professionals expect to test as many as 330 people every day. WANE15's Joe Struess talked with a woman who took part in today's testing.
Free COVID-19 testing started here at Bishop Dwenger High School earlier today thanks to a partnership between Kroger Health and the Allen County Department of Health.
We're just so privileged to have been chosen as a site, that the city of Fort Wayne was chosen as a site by Kroger and HHS and the State Department of Health to bring the testing locally.
The drive-through COVID-19 testing that started at Bishop Dwenger today is open to first responders, healthcare workers, and the general public. It's designed to provide free testing for those who may experience mild symptoms of COVID-19.
Very extreme fatigue. I was just sleeping like over 10 hours a night for multiple days and I was feeling quite achy. But then I had a loss of taste that was pretty strong, and that's been one of the more common symptoms of carriers.
April Brown works in a pharmacy and wanted to get a COVID-19 test before returning to work after experiencing those symptoms. With the instruction of the healthcare workers at the testing site, she self-administered the test this morning.
I'm glad that I can do it so they're not as exposed. It definitely tickled a lot, but it was fine. Definitely worth it just to know.
Officials say that if you'd like a test, you must schedule an appointment online through Kroger's testing website. Once approved, the process is fairly straightforward.
If they are eligible for that testing, they're given a time through that portal and our location, and they arrive off the North Clinton entryway here at Dwenger and follow the signs.
Test results are expected within 72 hours, and those who test positive for COVID-19 will be notified by Kroger and the Allen County Health Department.
We're hoping to do testing in the Fort Wayne, Allen County area through the end of the month, and we'll announce other sites and locations and days within 48 hours of those being scheduled.
Kumler said that just about all of the available appointments for today and tomorrow were booked up as of this morning, but the hope is to have more dates and locations available soon.
Again, officials are stressing that if you'd like to get a COVID-19 test, you need to make an appointment ahead of time. Reporting from Bishop Dwenger High School, Joe Struess, WANE15 News.
A free medical clinic in Fort Wayne has temporarily closed its doors after a staff member tested positive for COVID-19. Staff at Matthew 25 Health and Dental Clinic on Jefferson Boulevard announced they would not safely and effectively run the clinic at this time. The staff member who tested positive is self-quarantining, and those who interacted with that person are being told to isolate themselves for 2 weeks. Matthew 25 will reopen on May 11th with reduced hours. While they're closed, the clinic will still help patients from home. You can find the number to contact them on our website, WANE.com.
The University of St. Francis will return to on-campus learning in the fall. President Sister Elise Chris made that announcement this afternoon in a letter to students, faculty, and staff. The school will continue to follow the guidelines and recommendations of federal, state, and local health authorities. Sister Chris acknowledges that the face-to-face classroom might look different than before the pandemic. Meanwhile, Indiana University in Bloomington says it's, quote, highly unlikely that students and staff return to campus in the fall. The president addressed the topic in a letter to the IU community today. President Michael McRobbie laid out 5 scenarios for upcoming academic year, from a full return to the continuation of virtual learning. He says no matter what happens, quote, it will almost certainly look and feel different.
He allegedly swung an axe at people inside a Lowe's home improvement store. Tonight, Fort Wayne police say that man is charged with 4 felonies involving a deadly weapon. WANE15 Sierra Tufts talked to a few people inside the store, including the person who confronted the man wielding the axe.
Kristen Schubert says she told people to start running away from 24-year-old Joshua Harless as her husband, Andrew, attempted to get the axe away from Harless. Andrew was successful, but says Harless ran and got another axe. He says Harless was yelling at him that he's the devil, he's a demon, he needs to die, and everybody needs to die. Eventually, employees and other customers were able to tackle Harless before police arrived.
I didn't stop him from hurting somebody. He actually ended up, striking a customer in the face with it. But I slowed him down quite a bit. And I think if I hadn't slowed him down, given the police time to show up, then yeah, it probably could have gone a lot worse.
Police say only minor injuries were reported. Harless is facing 3 felony battery with a deadly weapon charges and a felony criminal recklessness with a deadly weapon, along with a misdemeanor charge. Coming up tonight at 6, we'll hear from a mother who says Harless threatened to kill her infant. Sierra Tufts, WANE15 News.
Kosciuszko County investigators are calling on your help to identify a man whose body was found earlier this month. On April 2nd, human remains were found near State Road 13 north of Pierceton. Since then, investigators submitted evidence which failed to identify that person. They say the person had black hair and was found with 2 shirts and a bracelet nearby. The first shirt is a blue size small Vans brand long sleeve shirt. The second, a sleeveless Maple Grove black jersey. Investigators found the original owner of the Maple Grove jersey, who says he donated it to Goodwill in 2016. Additional DNA testing could be delayed by COVID-19. If you have any information, you are asked to call police.
Now, your first weather from the live Doppler 15 Fury Weather Center.
A few scattered sprinkles will remain here this evening and plenty of clouds around too. Take a look at storm tracker right now. We're seeing a few sprinkles across Steuben County into Williams County, Ohio, also some in DeKalb County, and even some on the north side of Fort Wayne. All of this very light. Most of the area is dry at the moment. 44 degrees our current temperature in Fort Wayne, 46 in Auburn, 46 in Decatur, 44 in Huntington, but we are in the low 50s in some spots like in Defiance, Ohio, where the temperature is 51. Here this evening, temperatures in the 40s, and we'll stay in the 40s all night long. Tomorrow, we'll lose this chill in the air and we'll get into some sunshine. Then by the weekend, another chance of rain to talk about. I'll fill you in with all the details in just a few minutes.
Thanks, Nicholas. The COVID-19 pandemic, as you might suspect, has been, quote, devastating to the Fort Wayne travel and tourism industry. Today, WANE15 caught up with Visit Fort Wayne to learn more about the economic impact to the area. Canceled events led to fewer visitors at a cost of $2 to $3 million lost. Fort Wayne hotels once had a 75% use rate. That has dropped significantly with no clear path ahead.
Nobody knows what the new normal is going to be like. How do you gather people at an arena? How do you put people in a convention hall? Can we gather as a community and enjoy NCAA championships again? It's a very unsure future for the travel and tourism industry.
Visit Fort Wayne says the tourism industry will be one of the last to recover.
While Indiana's stay-at-home mandate is set to expire tomorrow, the mayor of Indianapolis is announcing the stay-at-home order for the city and Marion County will stay in effect for another 2 weeks. The city and county have been under the mandate since March. The Marion County Public Health Department will continue current restrictions on non-essential businesses. Residents are also encouraged to wear masks or face coverings in public.
Vice President Mike Pence was in Indiana today to tour the Kokomo General Motors plant. Workers are making thousands of ventilators to help hospitals. They're contracted to make 30,000 ventilators by the end of August. After the tour, Pence joined Indiana Governor Eric Holcomb in a roundtable discussion with employees.
The number of people losing their jobs continues to go up. 3.8 million Americans applied for unemployment benefits last week. The number of weekly filings is slowing down from the historic 6.9 million at the end of March, but the total for 6 weeks of job losses is now more than 30 million.
If you're a business owner and you're worried about scams, advice is on the way. The Better Business Bureau serving Northern Indiana will partner with Indiana Attorney General Curtis Hill for a webinar. The Federal Trade Commission says while most scams target consumers, business-to-business scams have become more common. The webinar is scheduled for next Wednesday afternoon. It's open to all Indiana business owners, and you can register from a link on WANE.com.
Updated numbers now on COVID-19. More than 1,000 Hoosiers have died from the virus. The state health department says there are 44 additional deaths. The total now stands at 1,007. As for confirmed cases, there are an additional 669, taking Indiana's total to almost 18,000. Almost 95,000 people have been tested statewide, and of those, nearly 19% tested positive. In Allen County, another resident has died from COVID-19. 25 have tested positive. This brings the total to 558 cases, 49 deaths. The DeKalb County Health Department also confirming another case of the virus. He's a 55-year-old who is recovering at home. This brings the total confirmed cases there to 20. Across the country, the number of people who have died from COVID-19 is now more than 61,000. Federal social distancing guidelines end tomorrow, and many states are making their own decisions about reopening. In Florida, restaurants and retailers will be allowed to open at 25% capacity starting Monday. California's governor says beaches and state parks will be closed tomorrow following crowded beaches last weekend. And in Michigan, people were out today protesting the Democratic governor's shelter-in-place orders that are now extended until May 15th.
This afternoon, the president will focus his remarks on protecting a group that is most vulnerable to the coronavirus, senior citizens. Earlier, President Trump sounded an optimistic note on some dismal economic numbers. CBS's Skylar Henry's at the White House with the latest.
I think we're going to make a very strong comeback.
President Trump predicts the economy will bounce back, despite news that more than 30 million Americans filed for unemployment over the past 6 weeks, and the GDP took its sharpest drop since the Great Recession.
I think you're going to see economic numbers that are going to be fantastic. I believe it very strongly.
CBS News has confirmed a report that the president's economic advisor sent a memo saying these 9 states will lead an economic recovery.
A wonderful state.
Another state's governor, New Jersey's Phil Murphy, a Democrat, met with President Trump at the White House Thursday. He made the case for more funding for states like his, hit hard by the coronavirus.
This is to allow us to keep firefighters, teachers, police, EMS on the payroll, serving the communities in their hour of need.
On the healthcare front, the White House has launched an initiative called Operation Warp Speed, focused on rapidly getting a vaccine.
I hope we're going to have a vaccine, and we're going to fast track it like you've never seen before.
The FDA is working on an emergency use authorization of the drug remdesivir to treat hospitalized COVID-19 patients after an NIH study showed promising results.
The data shows that remdesivir has a clear-cut, significant positive effect in diminishing the time to recovery.
I couldn't be more inspired.
Meanwhile, Vice President Mike Pence traveled to his home state of Indiana, where he toured a GM plant that's manufacturing ventilators. Skylar Henry, CBS News, the White House.
Tonight, Senators Mike Braun and Todd Young, along with 8 Indiana U.S. representatives, will come together for a town hall meeting. They'll discuss what's happening on the federal level, important topics that affect the state, and also how Governor Holcomb should reopen the state's economy. We caught up with the Senator Young, before tonight's panel.
Our public health officials have been out front in informing their public responses, their policy responses, and our objective is to ensure that everyone gets back to work and resume some semblance of normalcy as quickly as possible. And I think that here in the state of Indiana, we're sticking that landing.
This hour-long coronavirus town hall is tonight at 7 o'clock, live right here on WANE15 and also on WANE.com. And then at 8 o'clock, you can get a bonus half hour of discussion exclusively on WANE.com.
Coming up on First at 5, the Follinger Foundation helps a local distillery make more hand sanitizer. We'll explain how.
Plus, a local t-shirt company preaching Fort Wayne together continues to raise money for local businesses. We'll tell you how much they've raised so far when your #1 News at 5 returns.
Local coverage you can count on continues with Tara Brantley and Dirk Rowley. You're watching WANE15 News, First at 5.
For the 4th week in a row, Fort Wayne United and City Life are offering tips to help those in need. Tonight's virtual panel discussion on health care includes 3 African-American nurses. They'll touch on their experiences during the pandemic. Each nurse will also talk about how the virus has impacted the African-American community. The forum is set for 7:30 this evening on the Fort Wayne United Facebook page. You can watch it in real time or after the live event.
A $25,000 grant from the Follinger Foundation will help a local distillery make even more hand sanitizer. To date, 3 Rivers Distillery donated over 2,100 gallons of hand sanitizer to 685 organizations and 300 households. But the list of requests increases by approximately 50 per day, and current demand requires an additional 6,500 gallons be produced in May. The grant from the Follinger Foundation will be used to buy the raw materials.
A local shirt company has donated $21,000 to area businesses. Late last month, Headwaters Lifestyle Company partnered with young leaders of Northeast Indiana. Together, they designed a t-shirt with the simple phrase, Fort Wayne together. Over the last month, the company has sold 1,500 shirts. You can find a link to buy one right now on WANE.com. Well, today we had our second day of straight rain. Keep it here. Nicholas will let us know what's ahead for tomorrow and your weekend when First at 5 continues.
Local coverage you can count on continues with Chief Meteorologist Nicholas Ferreri's live Doppler 15 Fury forecast.
Another cloudy, gray day across the area with our current weather system still hanging around. It's a stubborn one to leave. You can catch some glimpses of the raindrops on our Country Heritage Winery and Vineyard camera in Layado. All this rain today, very light, less than 1/10 of an inch at the Fort Wayne Airport. We're talking 5/100ths of an inch, but it's still enough to make this day a green day on our calendar. 5 straight days with measurable rain at the Fort Wayne International Airport, all in little bursts, even though at times we have had some good downpours. 2.28 inches total rainfall for the month so far. That's still 1.24 inches below average. So though we've made a run at getting back to average here with this recent rainy forecast, it doesn't look like we're going to be able to do it by midnight tonight. Our current temperature, 44. It's been a cold day and will remain cold throughout the night. Winds from the west, breezy now at 18 miles per hour. We do have some spots in the upper 40s to low 50s, 51 in Defiance, 49 in Bryan, but it's 44 in Fort Wayne, 43 in Columbia City, and 42 in Marion. Here's the weather system continuing to rotate across our little portion of the Midwest. Although there's not much rain, we still have plenty of clouds that extend all the way into far eastern Illinois, and they're going to be around through the night, but they will be decreasing during the day tomorrow. So it looks like we will wrap up this week with some sunshine around here. On Futurecast tonight, scattered showers at times through the evening, all remaining quite light. No storms in the mix here this evening. By the time we get to early tomorrow morning, we are talking about temperatures in the 40s in most spots. It is possible some areas like Warsaw could dip down into the upper 30s. 39 in Warsaw at 7 in the morning, 42 in Auburn, 45 in Decatur, and 46 in Van Wert. Then during the day tomorrow, we begin mostly cloudy, but the clouds decrease and we're mostly sunny by the time afternoon gets here, and our temperatures get a really nice boost in comparison to our chilly levels from today. At 8 in the morning, 44. At 10, 50. At noon, 55. At 2 o'clock, 60. At 4 o'clock, 63. Winds tomorrow, not all that bad from the northwest, just between 5 and 10 miles per hour. 65 our Fort Wayne high, but also 65 for the high in Auburn, Paulding, and Decatur, 66 in Huntington, and 67 in Wabash. For our Friday night, clouds back in the picture for us. We become mostly cloudy as we head into our Saturday. And then on Saturday, there is a chance we could see a few occasional showers. Saturday now holding the best chance at a few raindrops, even though Sunday also has a slight chance at maybe a sprinkle or two. Much warmer this weekend, 72 on Saturday. Sunday will hit 70. Take a look at what's to come next week in your exclusive 10-day forecast here. Monday, a few sprinkles, 64. Tuesday, 58. Wednesday, 59 with some rain. Thursday, 63. Friday, 62. Some rain then, and more rain a week from Saturday, 61. But Mother's Day, a week from Sunday, it's looking dry and cooler, 55. That is the latest from the Live Doppler 15 Fury Weather Center. What's coming up in news?
More news on COVID-19, Nicholas. Farmers and local meat shops are feeling the effects. Hear how the closing of production plants could make your meat more expensive and harder to find tonight at 6.
But first, the Boys and Girls Clubs is at it again, passing out free healthcare supplies. All that and more when your number one news at 5 returns.
Local coverage you can count on continues with Tara Brantley and Dirk Rowley. You're watching WANE 15 News, First at 5.
The Boys and Girls Clubs of Fort Wayne distributed more Healthy Habits care packets. Those packs contain soap, detergent, diapers, masks, and more. Distribution and collection has been going on for the past few weeks. More donors, though, help pay for more packets. The director of operations for the Boys and Girls Clubs say they're passing out about 500 packets at each event.
The community's hurting, and a lot of people, there's a lady that we were in contact with that says she's been out of work 5 weeks and she still hasn't received an unemployment check yet. So, you know, a lot of people are hurting and a lot of people need everyday items.
The Boys and Girls Clubs have partnered with Fort Wayne United and Save-A-Lot stores to put on that program.
All 3 Fort Wayne Parks and Recreation golf courses are set to reopen Monday. Foster, McMillan, and Shove Park golf courses will all open at 10 a.m. A spokesperson for Fort Wayne Parks and Rec says they're making modifications to allow for safe social distancing. For the first week of operation, golf will be walking only, meaning no carts allowed. Golf cart rentals will be available and summer golf leagues will start after May 11th. Golfers should call in advance for a tee time reservation. Today's weather, not too good for golf, but the 10-day, that's another story. Nicholas has it when we come back.
Starting tomorrow, everyone in Illinois will need to wear a mask in public when you can't social distance. A few Chicago icons got a jump on it. The Lions at the Art Institute had their noses and mouths covered with the Chicago flag. The coverings are meant to encourage everyone to be safe to protect themselves and others.
My mask was nowhere near that fancy.
The governor had the Indiana mask
Yes,
today.
I like
Yes,
that.
I like that a lot.
that was
Very
quite
much,
creative.
yes.
Yeah.
What does yours look like, Nicholas?
Nothing fancy.
Okay.
It's just regular fabric, but that's all you need.
That's all you
You know,
need,
this is an
right.
easy thing for people to do. So that's, if you can add in a fancy decoration, hey, thumbs up, an extra gold star, but not necessary. 65 tomorrow. The sun comes back out over the weekend. 70 and just above. A few raindrops possible, but not a washout.
All right, Nicholas, thank you.
See you at 6.